What's going on, everybody? This is Cody, the home theater hobbyist. As many of you know, Cambridge Audio is a classic audio company. They sell things like speakers, headphones, DACs, amplifiers, basically all of the cool things that you and I like from a hi-fi standpoint. Cambridge sells. Well, a few months ago, I had the opportunity to review a couple of products from their CX line, the CX A81, a stereo amplifier, and the CXN V2 network audio streamer. Now, I enjoyed both of those products. I thought they were great. I really did enjoy them. But since then, they've released a new line known as the EVO line. And this right here is the EVO 150. Now, this is a network audio streamer. It's also a DAC and it's also an amplifier. So it's basically those two boxes that I reviewed in a single box. And quite frankly, I like it. I think this is a great piece of kit. But in this video, I want to talk to you about the EVO 150, how it compares to the CX A81 and the CXN, and also whether or not you should consider purchasing this. So let's get to it. The EVO 150 is an all-in-one hi-fi player that is both a network audio streamer and an integrated stereo amplifier. It has a HyperX in-core Class D amplifier that outputs 150 watts into 8 ohms. It has an ESS Saber DAC, a frequency response from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz, and Bluetooth 4.2 built in with support for aptX and aptX HD codecs. It has both Ethernet and dual-band Wi-Fi and is compatible with Apple AirPlay 2, has Chromecast built in, Spotify Connect, Tidal, MQA, Qobuz, is Roon ready, and UPnB. It has several analog and digital inputs, including a moving magnet phono stage and HDMI with audio return channel. It is 12.5 inches wide, 3.5 inches tall, and 13.8 inches deep, and it weighs 11.6 pounds. In the US, it costs $3,000. Before I begin talking about the EVO 150 and share my experience, which I really want to do because I really enjoyed just sitting around playing with this thing. It's been a lot of fun. I should mention a couple things though. First of all, there are chapter markers in this video, so skip around to the sections that most interest you. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel because that helps us get found in the search algorithm and also get more products like this in for review. So thank you very much. The other thing I want to mention is the EVO 150 is a part of the EVO line from Cambridge Audio. There is a little brother to this known as the EVO 75, and there are a lot of similarities, but there are a few differences. The first one being power output. The EVO 75 outputs 75 watts per channel into 8 ohms, whereas the 150 outputs 150 watts per channel into 8 ohms. There's also some differences in the connections along the back. The EVO 150 has more connections. There's a price difference as well. It's just a few $100s. And honestly, if you are trying to decide if you want to get the EVO 75 or EVO 150, I'm going to say go for the EVO 150 because it has a bit more connections and it's a bit more versatile. Now, I haven't actually tried the EVO 75, so I assume the sound quality and all that's pretty similar, but like I said, the EVO 150 just has a few more connections. And the last thing I want to mention, I will be comparing this in different areas to the CXN and the CX A81 because like I said, they have a lot of shared DNA, but there are some differences here. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the front panel of the EVO 150. Okay, the front panel of the EVO 150. On the left-hand side, we have the display. This is a full-color LCD display that is similar to the CXN, but it is a larger display. But it gives you information like artist, track name, album art, how much time is left remaining in the track. You also get network status, the format that is playing in, basically everything that you want to know, and it is a really nice display. I like this display. Now, next to that, on the right-hand side, going down, is a single row of buttons, which includes play, pause, skip back, skip forward. There's also an info button and there's an output button. So you can select speaker zone A, speaker zone B, zone A or zone B, or you can even do the headphone output because there is a 3.5mm headphone jack here down in the bottom right-hand corner. Now here in the center is the main volume knob right there. And then next to that is the source selection. So you can flip that back and forth and do the source. Now, down here on the bottom, if you push that last button, that's the power button. Turns everything on and it connects to your network. Right now I've got it connected wired, but you can also do wireless with this box. And if you can see there, I can flip through all of the different sources. Now, that's the front panel, but the good news is there are two other ways that you can interact with the EVO series. The first being with the hardware remote. Now, this has all the major features of a normal remote, right? Power, volume adjustment, source selection. You've got some presets here. You can dim the display, check the info on display, all of that with this nice remote. There's even an eject and a stop button here, and that is for the EVO CD player. I don't have that here, but you can connect it to this and you can eject the CD tray if you want to. But I do have an issue with this remote. I think it looks nice, but I do wish that the buttons protruded out just a little bit more so they were easier to feel and find in the dark. So I do think that the CX remote from the CX-A81 CXN V2 is a little bit better than this. And this is an IR remote, so you do have to have it pointed at the box. But if you don't want to use the remote, and honestly, I didn't really use the remote all that much, I actually use my phone because the StreamMagic app is connected to this box. So you can actually do everything that you want to do with this box with this remote, including selecting the different outputs. I can go in here, I can select which set of speakers I have, different sources, and right now it is on library. So I'm going to play a track from my phone on the box, and as you can see there, it just lit up and is showing you the track that I'm playing right here on my phone. Now, one thing I want to mention is hopefully you can see that MQA notice right down there on the bottom. That's because this does play MQA file format. That was one of the things I wanted the CXN V2 to play. It didn't play it, but the EVO 150 does play MQA format. So that's another advantage or upgrade for the EVO line compared to the CXN. Another cool feature of the EVO line are these side panels because they are removable and replaceable. In the box, you get a brown or a black. And the cool thing is they're magnetically attached, so you can just pull them off and then put the other one on. Now you have to be careful because the magnets are strong and you can pinch your fingers, but you get two in the box, one for each side. Here is the rear of the EVO 150, and as you can see, there are a ton of connections back here. Quite frankly, this reminds me of an AV receiver because basically anything you pretty much need is back here. You got the dual left and right speaker connections right here, so you can do the zone A, zone B. There's also balanced inputs here, so if you have some equipment that has balanced outputs, you can do that. Over here on this side is all the digital connections, optical, coax. There's also an HDMI connection, so you can connect your television to this and have these speakers from this playing your television audio. On this side is all the analog connections, including a turntable connection with ground. So that way, if you have a turntable, again, you can connect this. The CXN did not have this connection, so an upgrade. There is RS-232 along with trigger in and out, so you can turn power on and off. There's also pre-out, so you can do an additional amplifier, a sub-out connection. Basically, everything you need is back here. And this does have more connections than the EVO 75, so this is another reason to upgrade to this from the EVO 75, or excuse me, choose this over this EVO 75 because you have a lot more connections, so you're a little bit more future-proof. Editor Cody here. I realized that I forgot to drop an audio sample in this video. I was so excited to tell you about my experience that I just totally forgot. But I'm going to drop one right here just so you can hear that this does make sound, and then we will talk about my experience. Okay, enough about the hardware, the front panel, the side panel. Let's talk about the experience, sound quality, features, that type of thing. Now, the first thing I'll say is if you are really into sitting down and critically listening to music, you're an audiophile, that type of person, you should really give the EVO 150 some serious consideration. Once you add your favorite pair of speakers, you've got a nice package with this and your speakers, because we'll start with what it has, right? You got the StreamMagic app. You can control everything here with the StreamMagic app. You also have access to Tidal and Qobuz right there through the app. All you have to do is log in. Then you can be listening to some really high quality, high res audio. But it also gives you the rear panel, so you can plug in a hard drive, you can plug in your turntable, your CD player. It's on your network, so it's room ready, and you can really dig into your high quality music sources because it supports formats like ALAC, FLAC, DSD. It also has a full MQA decoder built in, so you can get that MQA studio approved, artist approved quality right from the EVO 150. It also has Bluetooth built in with aptX and aptX HD. So again, you can listen to HD quality sound right through this box, which is another thing that the CXN didn't have. It had pretty much everything else, but it didn't have that. Now let's talk about the DAC and the amp. It's got the ESS Sabre DAC, which is a premium DAC, and it has the Class D amplifier in it. And that Class D is not Class AB, but it easily handles these 4 terminals back here. I was able to play Zone A and Zone B together at very high volumes and didn't notice it distorting or anything like that. It didn't seem to run out of power at all, so that is a good thing. The other benefit of Class D is it runs a little bit cooler than a Class AB, so this doesn't get all that hot and stuff like that. So that's a good thing. Now, when listening to music, the amplifier and the DAC, they work together very, very well, and this has been voiced very, very well from Cambridge Audio. This sounds fantastic. It's got a nice, clear, detailed, rich sound. One of the tracks I was listening to is called Innocence. It's an acoustic jazz project, and I was listening to the MQA studio master of it, and it's a pianist, a guy playing the drums, and a guy on the bass, and they're just kind of playing their different parts, and they've got different parts, but they're kind of featured, I guess I should say. The drummer's playing, everybody's a little bit soft, and they kind of move around, and man, it sounds fantastic. You've got the nice soft taps on the drums and on the cymbals, but then you also have the pianist kind of playing up and down the scale, and the bass is just, oh man, he is strumming, and you're getting rich, detailed, room feeling bass, you know, and it just sounds fantastic when you're playing with this and you got your different speakers. I tried some Kefs, some Klipsch, some Polks. I tried several different speakers with this, and it just sounds really, really good, nice and detailed, whether I'm talking about the bass, the mid-range, or even the treble. All of them are nice, detailed, and clear. Now, I do think that this is tuned just a little bit more for treble, and what I mean by that is there's just a little bit of push there, in my opinion, when I'm listening to this. And I noticed that treble when I was listening to a track called Kung Fu Piano. There's a violin that plays in there, and the treble was nice, clean, and detailed. But one of the little hidden gems that I found inside the app is they have a tone control for the EVO 150. So you can go in and adjust the treble and the bass up or down to your liking. Now, me personally, I like the sound right out of the box, but they do give you that control. Another thing I found in the app is the ability to, again, select the different outputs, whether you want to do Zone A, Zone B, or you know, both of them. And you can also do the headphone jack or Bluetooth headphones. You can connect Bluetooth headphones to the EVO 150 so you can listen from a, you know, seated position or something like that. So that's really cool. But one of the things I like about being able to do Zone A and Zone B is that you can actually audition speakers with this. So if you're thinking about auditioning speakers and you already have your main speakers, you can plug them both in and you can just go back and forth with your high quality files. And as a reviewer, somebody that does actually do this a lot, that is really good and kind of makes me think I might want to get one of these to be just for my own personal use, right? Because it makes it so easy because you can pick any of your high quality files. So overall, I like this presentation. It's got a nice sound stage. When you're listening to a live concert, it has plenty of detail so you can still hear the audience kind of doing their thing. There's depth to the image so you can kind of place the musicians and the singers away from each other. So it basically has all of the different things that is just really nice for somebody that is really into listening to music. But all that being said, I did have something that I wish was a little bit better. I had a hard drive connected to the EVO 150 and I was listening to music off of it. And every now and then it would randomly stop. I'm not sure why. But when it randomly stopped, I would hit play to restart the song and it would start from the beginning of the song, not the middle of the song where I was at. So If there is a glitch like that, I wish this had some caching or buffering built in, so that way you could start from the middle of the song where you're at, not from the beginning. Otherwise, from a sound quality standpoint, I do like this. Now let's talk about something else that's a little bit harder to swallow, and that is the price. The EVO 150 is $3,000 here in the US, which for audiophile grade equipment is not like super expensive, right? You can definitely go much more expensive, but it's also not the cheapest thing in the world either, right? So it's something that if you're not really into audio, you might be like, man, I'm not gonna spend $3,000 on that, but you really do get a lot with the EVO 150. You know, I was talking about the CX-A81 and the CX-N V2. Well, if you were to buy both of those together, it would cost right around $2,400. And with this, you get several upgrades, including a nicer screen, the MQA support, Bluetooth built in, connections for a turntable. All of that's in here. So it's actually pretty justifiable, in my opinion, to go up just a little bit with the $3,000 price point on this versus those two units combined. And obviously you get just one box versus two. So that's good. Now, when I compare this to the EVO 75, I have to say that again, I would go for this because you get a lot more connections on the back, so you get a lot more versatility. I really like the EVO 150 and I do highly recommend it. This is a great piece of kit. The main thing that you just kind of have to get over is the price, but it works really well. I like the app, I like the way it's integrated, I like all the features, and like I said, it gives you the ability to easily audition two pairs of speakers because you can do zone A and zone B back and forth with your highest quality audio. It's just fantastic, and that screen looks really nice. So if you want to purchase the EVO 150 or anything else from Cambridge Audio, use those links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and also join me on Patreon. I would really appreciate you being a patron for us. But thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.